Quick note before we begin, this is a dramatized, fictional story inspired by public fascination with royal life. It is not a report of real events or real people. It starts at 6:14 a.m. A manila folder drops onto the monarch's desk with the soft thud of a gavel. Outside, parade ground calm. Inside, a fuse. The king pauses over his Earl Grey, breaks the seal, and sees the first photo. Then the second. Then the third. He doesn't speak. He doesn't need to. By the fourth image the room feels smaller, the crown heavier, and the clock too loud. What's inside that folder? You'll hear the 5 orders it triggers, orders that change everything, but first, follow the thread the way the palace did, slowly, carefully, without blinking. Weeks earlier, our queen consort, let's call her Cassandra, requested access to the Heritage Vault for exhibition research. Routine. Cameras record the sign-in. The doors hiss shut. 47 minutes later, she exits with a lockable trunk that should require 2 signatures. It leaves with 1. Paperwork. To follow. It never does. Where did the trunk go? Not to a museum lab. Not to a conservator. To a rented country house near Windsor, the same address that later appears on a set of quiet, careful travel logs. No cleaners booked. No florist delivery. No staff access for 3 days. Just a single line on a back entrance manifest, private arrival. No services. The kind of line meant to be invisible until it isn't. The folder on the king's desk is ruthless. Time-stamped photos from that country house. A terrace. 2 glasses. 1 laugh that looks practiced. Glances that don't. A kiss that stops the air. You could call it a misunderstanding, a bad angle, a trick of light, but the angles keep stacking, and light doesn't lie. He tells nobody. Not yet. He says 6 words to his security chief, follow the trunk. And the man. That's all. The map lights up. A decommissioned override code, supposedly dead since 2014, still works on a subpanel no one thinks about. A camera that should cover a loading bay has a blind strip big enough for 1 trunk. A black SUV idles exactly 45 minutes at a dock where no black SUVs idle. Coincidences? Maybe. Until an inventory ping quietly trips a yellow flag, 2 heirlooms can't be reconciled. On paper they're safe. In the vault they are not. Then comes the telltale ripple, the kind you only notice if you live in these corridors. A lunch at the palace. 32 people. No press. No performance. The princess arrives, poised, unhurried, eyes like a scanner. She spots a set of pearl drops glittering in the noon light on a relative by marriage. Beautiful. Familiar. Too familiar. She requests the digital catalogue with a smile that covers 1,000 calculations. Serial numbers. Provenance. Trust language that binds the jewels to a granddaughter, someday. Those earrings should be asleep in velvet. They are not. They are at lunch. Now the room is truly small. By midnight, logs, messages, and movement patterns are stacked like cards. A secure tablet coughs up formal phrasing that says everything and also nothing. It speaks of freedom. Of ownership. Of a life unshackled. It never uses the word trunk. It never has to. The picture is complete without it. The king convenes 5 people in a windowless room, himself, the heir, the princess royal, and 1 legal advisor who still believes in paper more than air. No titles. No speeches. Just evidence. The princess royal is pure ice. She's thinking of duty, of tradition, of a mother's decades. The heir is a portrait in restraint. When he finally speaks, the sentence lands like a seal. She tried to claim a history that is not hers to claim. No anger. Just verdict. Then come the 5 orders you're here for. 1. Access terminated. Effective immediately, the Queen Consort's cards are void. Every door that opened now clicks shut. 2. Duties reassigned. Within 48 hours, patronages, ceremonies, and appearances are redistributed. No press release. Just a calendar that no longer includes her name. 3. Lockdown of legacy. All vault codes rotate by midnight, new biometrics installed, audit teams doubled. The drawer with the most intimate pieces gets a new guardian, the princess, with a promise written in a hand that looks like steadiness. 4. Protection withdrawn. The private detail assigned by the institution stands down. Personal arrangements become personal business. 5. Communications blacked out. No more briefings. No private lines. No soft channels through old friends. A wall where there was a corridor. A letter follows, sealed, delivered to her hand at dusk. The official language is bloodless. The handwritten line at the bottom is not, "Trust is gone." If this were a tidy world, the story would end there in silence. But palaces breathe, and secrets never really sit still. A broadsheet runs a meticulously sourced piece 3 mornings later. No guesswork. No shouting. A single, devastating juxtaposition, a recent photo of those pearls beside an archival portrait that needs no caption. The internet does what the internet does. Hashtags catch. Old footage resurfaces. One montage races past 5 million views before lunch. You don't need to hear the music to feel the drumbeat. History doesn't belong to the loudest. It belongs to the most faithful. Inside the gates, something subtle but seismic shifts. The Queen Consort's name evaporates from web pages, programs, plaques. Staff rosters compress. A car with no crest takes a quiet turn on a country lane. The ride is silent, the driver will later say, like delivering winter. And the princess? She walks into the vault the way a captain steps onto the bridge after a storm, not to make a speech, but to count the lifeboats. Item by item, serial by serial, she checks, notes, restores. New locks. New chain of custody. A small envelope goes into a drawer many of us have dreamed about but will never see. The inscription is short and perfect, for Charlotte. With love. From the one who came before you. 2 photos released that evening. No grandstanding. Just a message only a monarchy could send. One shows her at the threshold of the newly secured vault, not posing, guarding. The other shows a little girl with bright eyes cradling a frame, the past folded gently into the future. No words needed. Everyone understands. What happens to Cassandra in exile? That's not the point of this story, not really. Exile is loud at first, then very quiet. What matters is the institution, the crown that is both story and steel, both memory and rule. People say thrones are built of gold. They're not. They're built of decisions like these, UN televised, unloved, unavoidable. And the king? You see it in the way he carries daylight, a fraction heavier at the shoulders. Betrayal brings a public sting and a private cost. Yet when he moves through a ward or a workshop or a wreath-laying, he is still the man who understands that real power isn't glitter. It's continuity. It's leaving a room steadier than you found it. There's a final scene I keep returning to. Late evening. The princess and the heir stand alone in a long corridor with polished floors that hold 1,000 reflected footsteps. They don't speak for a while. They don't need to. In the stillness you can almost hear tomorrow being built hinge by hinge, lock by lock, promise by promise. If you felt your pulse quicken, that was by design. Stories like this, again, a work of fiction, echo because they sit close to questions that are very real. Who protects a legacy when the cameras go home? Who decides where history lives? Who says no when saying yes would be easier? Tell me what you think truth and restoration should look like in a family under a microscope. Quiet corrections. Public lines in the sand. A letter in a drawer meant to be found by the right hands at the right time? Drop your thoughts below, because this channel lives on your take as much as our storytelling. If this kept you watching, hit like so it finds the rest of our royal-obsessed community, and subscribe because next time, we're going even deeper into the hidden levers that hold dynasties together when everything else tries to pull them apart.